Yeah, no, I'm taking. Okay, I can barely breathe in now. Videos. Yes, you might notice a change in my voice. I'm sorry. We're not gonna do a new video. Can I make this bigger? Can I make this just bigger and larger? Oh, wrong. Okay. New to do some YouTube stuff. You should see how I'm seeing it.
Picture this. You're sitting in class when out of nowhere an alarm goes off saying that your school is officially in lockdown. All the students are panicking because no one knows what's going on, except for you. Because you actually know why the school went into lockdown. And to take it one step further, you were the one who caused it. I'm sure you have a lot of questions about what I could have possibly done to get myself in a situation like this, so let me take you back to the morning it all started. So everyone knows that there are two places inside a school where anything can happen. Number one, the school bathroom, and number two, the locker room. Well, the locker room is where this story begins, and if you're not familiar with why locker rooms are so crazy, it's for a couple reasons. There's usually not teachers around, everyone just got done with PE class, so everyone's a little bit high energy, and there's a bunch of people in a really small space. Also, this is really the only place inside school where you can do a bunch of crazy things and not get in trouble for it. Actually, never mind. You can get in trouble in here, and me and my friend Jerry proved that when one day, after PE class finished, we were heading into the locker room. Our teacher, who we called Coach Martinez, blew his whistle and told everyone that it's...
Okay, I won't be pausing this much, but Coach Martinez, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, yes, I wanted to talk. I wanted to be silent, so you understand, right?
Time to go back to the locker room and change. But here's the thing about Coach Martinez. The moment we got back into that locker room every day, he would always vanish into his office and turn on some football highlights or something. So he...
Yeah, I'm in third grade, I can't relate. But yeah, that's probably what they're gonna do. PE teachers are obsessed with physical education.
Never paid attention to anything we did in that locker room. And what happens when there's a bunch of unsupervised students all in the same area? Chaos.
Yes, chaos. The bathroom, POV, party in the bathroom, party in the bathroom.
Second Coach Martinez would shut his door, the whole locker room would always turn into mayhem.
Spoiler alert, if you don't want to be spoiled, just go like 10 seconds. No, like 20 seconds more into the video. They're gonna light a candle and the whole school's gonna go fire.
They're throwing dirty socks at each other. One kid's blasting music from his horrible speakers. And then there was Jerry, who was my friend and also a very important part to this story. You see, Jerry was this short kid with curly hair who had literally no concept of danger. Like, I'm talking about a guy who literally dared people to shoot fireworks at him during the 4th of July to see if he could dodge them. He got a second-degree burn that day, but I'm pretty sure that's what he wanted to happen. So if you combine Jerry, a crazy person, with the school locker room, a crazy place, you're gonna get a bunch of crazy things happening. And one of those crazy things that always happened in the locker room was a game me and him created, which involved Axe body spray and a lighter. I'm sure...
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Just by saying that, some of you already know where I'm going with this. But for those of you who don't, if you have Axe body spray or any type of body spray, and you also have a lighter, if you spray it while holding the lighter in front of it, it almost creates a flame...
Don't listen to Tyler Vitelli.
...thrower effect.
I'm joking. Listen. For visual, don't try this at home. That's not my text. It's his, actually.
So what a couple of us students would always do in the locker room is turn off the lights and play this sick, twisted version of hide and seek. Except instead of just tagging each other when we found them, we would scare whoever we found by shooting these little bursts of flame right at them. And I know what you guys are all thinking. Tyler, this sounds awesome. Like, why didn't I think of this? And you're absolutely right. It was awesome. But unfortunately, it was also very dangerous. The game would always start the same way. Jerry would flip the light switch, and suddenly, the whole locker room would go pitch black. You literally could not see your hand in front of your face. Then we would all split up and try finding hiding spots between the lockers, under the benches, behind the equipment, wherever we could squeeze into. The goal is simple. Stay hidden as long as possible and avoid the person who's seeking finding you, because if they found you, they were gonna shoot those flames at you. It was like the world's most dangerous version of Marco Polo. Most of us loved playing this, but we always hated when Jerry was the one seeking, because he would just take everything way too far. While I would do these quick little puffs of flame just to see where I'm going when I was it, Jerry would literally hold down the spray button for 5 seconds, creating a massive ball of fire that would literally light up the room like a dragon. He'd chase people around corners, jump out from lockers, so everyone hated when Jerry was the person seeking. The worst part was how competitive he got about it. If I scared Jerry really good one day, he would have to top it the next day. If I found a good hiding spot, Jerry would have to find an even better one. It kept escalating and escalating until we were having full-blown flame wars in the locker room. It felt like wizards having a battle in Harry Potter.
Bro. 20 minutes and we're only 30 minutes in. Do you not see that? I'm liking, just like you should do to my channel. Please, please.
Or just shooting the fire at each other. Usually, there would be about 5 or 6 of us that were playing at a time, and most of the other kids just thought we were crazy.
Or 6 or 7.
Everyone else would change into their regular clothes and get out of the way as fast as possible. They were definitely the smart ones. But at some point, almost everyone in that class played the game. And the thing is, we'd been playing this for months without any real problems. Sure, we would accidentally melt a plastic water bottle every once in a while, or burn a hole through someone's gym shirt, but nothing serious ever happened until it did. Because during this particular day in PE, we were playing basketball, and Jerry's team lost by 1 point. And let's just say, he did not take that lightly. So we get into the locker room after playing, and he's fuming. He keeps looking at me with this mischievous look on his face, and I'm just thinking, I know he's planning something, but I don't know what. Coach Martinez goes into his office like normal, and the moment he shuts that door, Jerry whips out the body spray and gives me an evil smile. Dude, you're not ready for what I'm about to do, Jerry says. And I'm already getting nervous because usually when Jerry says something like that, someone's ending up in the hospital. We flip off the lights like always, and the locker room goes completely dark. I grab a good hiding spot behind the lockers, right next to the back wall, making sure I can still keep an eye on Jerry. I'm expecting to see him shoot these little flame bursts like always, but this time, when he sprays that bottle, I see a massive flame. I'm talking like 3-foot-long flames that are lighting up the whole room. He was holding the can down.
Let's set the school on fire. Let's set the school on fire.
Forever. But he's already in full psycho mode. He's running around the locker room like a fire-breathing dragon, spraying these huge bursts and laughing while he's doing it. The flames were way bigger than anything we'd ever done before, and honestly, it was kind of terrifying. They were so big that you could feel the heat right when he sprayed them. That's when I realized he wasn't using a normal can of Axe body spray. No. He got the industrial-sized can. I didn't even know that existed. He was making the whole locker room smell like chemicals with how long he was holding down that spray.
That's my sister. Just ignore them. Background noise. Am I right?
I decide that I quickly need to get out of my hiding spot because Jerry has clearly lost his mind. And if he catches me, there's nowhere for me to move. But as I'm crawling out from behind the lockers, my foot kicks something onto the floor. I looked for it trying to pick it up, and that's when I see that it was a hand sanitizer bottle I kicked. Because what I didn't realize when I picked up the bottle was that a lot of hand sanitizer fell onto the floor when I kicked it. And this would end up being a huge problem just a few moments later. At first, I didn't even know this happened. I was more focused on not getting torched by Jerry's flame show. But then I hear him coming towards my area. And when I see him spray that can this time, there's a massive burst of fire heading for exactly where I'm crouched down. The flame is so bright that for a second, I could actually see everything in the locker room. And that's when I notice there's a puddle of hand sanitizer on the ground. It's all over the floor right next to me. And I mean like all over. So what happened next felt like a movie scene because it all happened in slow motion. I see Jerry spraying his flame, getting closer and closer to that puddle. So my brain starts screaming, oh no, this is about to be really bad. Because if you didn't know, hand sanitizer is flammable. So I try to tell Jerry to stop, but he can't hear me over the sound of his Axe body spray can hissing. And the moment the flame touches the edge of that hand sanitizer,
Got any game on your phone?
puddle, the entire puddle catches on fire. And it didn't just happen for a second and then go away immediately. No. There was now a real fire spreading across the floor. Because the hand sanitizer splashed all over the place when I spilled the bottle. Within seconds, fire is spreading all over the locker room. Jerry finally notices what's happening, and he's just standing there with his mouth wide open, still holding the lighter and can of body spray, like he's just frozen in place. The fire is getting bigger and bigger super quick, and we realize this isn't a game anymore. This is a real fire.
Yeah, no kidding. You're about to hit a freaking smoke detector and be sent to jail.
spreading in our school that we started. We both start panicking and try to stomp it out, but that just spreads the hand sanitizer even more. I grab my shirt and try to smother part of it, but the fire was so strong at this point that did nothing. Jerry yells, "Yo, we gotta get water!" But by the time another student runs to the showers, fills up his water bottle, and comes back, the fire had spread so much that just a little water bottle wouldn't do anything. And after a couple more seconds, the worst noise you could possibly hear in this situation goes off. The fire alarm. We gave up entirely on trying to stop the fire now and just left the locker room because that's what you're supposed to do when you hear the noise. Line up in a single file line, and then when every student is there, walk out of the classroom together. Which is pretty funny, by the way, because when there's actually a fire going on, no one's listening to those rules. When there's a real fire, it's every man for themselves trying to run as fast as possible and just get out of there. We don't got time for a single file line in alphabetical order. And plus, my last name starts with a V, so I'm at the back of the line. I ain't waiting for all those people in front of me. Like, they're basically saying, if your last name ends in TUVWXYZ, you're cooked. So all the kids just run out of the locker room as fast as they can, not in a single file line. When we get out of the locker room, we see that a bunch of other classes are lining up in a single file and going out of their classroom too. Teachers are shouting instructions, and students are starting to pour onto the grass. All the students from the other classes were moving at a pace that said, "We know this is a drill," except this isn't a drill. And only me and the other students in that locker room knew that. When we see all the other classrooms coming out into the yard, I grab Jerry's arm and say, "Jerry, whatever happens, do not tell anyone that we did this." We just get swept into the crowd of all the students heading for the exits. Everyone is talking and laughing because they just think it's another normal drill. Some students are playing jokes, some are playing rock, paper, scissors. I heard one person say that someone's fart probably set off the fire alarm. As we're walking toward the field, I keep expecting someone to just grab me and drag me towards the principal's office. When we finally all make it outside to the grass, the reality of what just happened hits me. There are hundreds of students gathering onto the field. Teachers are doing head counts, and we're just standing there on the grass with no control over what happens. But after a couple minutes, we hear another terrifying noise. Fire trucks. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then over the intercom, I hear the vice principal say, "Students and staff, we are currently dealing with a serious incident in the boys' locker room. Emergency responders are on the scene. Please remain in your designated areas until further notice." Now, me and Jerry realize how serious this situation got. Because I don't know how much it costs for fire trucks to come, but I would...
My main goal is to blow up.
Imagine it has to be pretty serious for them to call them. Me and Jerry just stare at each other with that look on our face that said, "We're cooked. We're cooked." There were 3 fire trucks that pulled up to our school. Bit dramatic if you ask me. But I'm watching all these firefighters rush into our school with their big suits on and their oxygen tanks. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is all happening because Jerry and I were pretending to be wizards shooting flames. Jerry keeps giving me these panicked looks as the situation elevates, and I can just tell he's gonna blow our cover. The paranoia starts setting in pretty quickly. Every teacher that walks by feels like they're studying our faces, trying to figure out if we look suspicious. When Coach Martinez does a head count of our class, I'm convinced that he stares at me and Jerry for a lot longer than all the other students. About 20 minutes after we evacuated the locker room, another announcement goes off that made everything 10 times worse. We are asking all students who are in the boys' locker room during 5th period to report to the main office. We're done. We're done. We're done. Me and Jerry just go completely pale when we hear this. We're both thinking the same thing. They have to know something. I think about just running off of campus and acting like I was never even at school that day, but we had to go. If we don't report with everyone else to the office, that's gonna look a lot more suspicious than if we did. So we joined the group of the other 15 guys or so that was in the locker room with us, and all of us walked towards the main office. The whole time we're walking towards there, I'm trying to think of a good story. What were we doing when the alarm went off? Where were we when the alarm went off? Did we see anything suspicious? I'm running through every possible question they might ask, trying to make sure me and Jerry have the exact same answers so we don't contradict each other. While we're waiting in line to be questioned, I overhear some of the other students talking about what happened. One student said he smelled smoke right before the alarm went off. Another one says they saw nothing. But here's the thing. None of the students mentioned the game of hide and seek we were playing. And I think I know why. Because at some point, almost every person in that PE class played the game. So if they told the principal that we always played that game in the locker room, we would all look guilty. When it's finally my turn to talk, I'm sweating through my shirt like I just ran a marathon because I cannot lie. The faculty members got this notebook, and she's asking me basic questions. Was I in the locker room? What time did I leave? Did I see anything unusual in there? I stick to the simplest possible answers. I was changing after PE class. I left around the normal time. No, I didn't see anything weird. They were writing down everything we said in this official-looking notebook. It felt like we were being interrogated by the FBI. They ask if we know about students playing with fire or aerosol cans while in the locker room. And I panicked because, yeah, we were, but I just try to play it cool and say, aerosol? What even is aerosol? You talking about the soccer team? Then they asked Jerry questions, and I'm watching his face while he was giving answers, and it just made me so confident that he was gonna screw up. But he was able to stick to the plan and give a good, convincing story. We were just changing clothes, left at the normal time, didn't see anything suspicious. After the questioning, we were told to rejoin our class group, but the waiting continued. We were just stuck outside on that grass while the fire department did their work. After maybe 2 hours, they finally started letting us back into the buildings. But instead of going to our regular classrooms, they herded us all together in the gymnasium. Apparently a lot of the school smelled like smoke because it traveled through the vents. By the time we sat down on those awfully uncomfortable gym bleachers, everyone had their theories as to what happened. I even heard one person's theory was that the lunch lady's cooking abilities finally caught up to them, and they caught the whole kitchen on fire. Jerry and I just sat there listening to what everyone thought happened, and we were just relieved that no one actually guessed what really happened. Who would think that two dummies playing with an Axe body spray can could cause a school-wide evacuation? They kept us in that gymnasium until school got out that day. When school finally ended, me and Jerry went our separate...
I feel like I'm being too quiet. Yeah, you're done. You're done. You're done. You're cooked. Everything you've done is cooked. Cheepy, cheepy, abba, oba, oma. At that point, just tell them what you did. Better than lying. Why say better than lying?
Ways, and just both agreed, do not talk about this. Pretend it never happened. But we had no idea what would be waiting for us the next couple of days at school. Because for the next 3 days, the investigation ramped up big time. They brought in fire investigators to find out how this whole thing even happened, what the source of it was. And that really worried me and Jerry because, obviously, these people were probably pretty good at their job. So I'm sure they would figure out exactly what caused the fire, aka Dumb and Dumber. For these couple days after the incident, the locker room was blocked off from even entering, so we couldn't even see inside it and see how bad the damage got. All me and Jerry could do at this point was wait. But during this time of waiting to find out the cause of the fire, our entire gym class, who was all in there when the fire actually started, was still getting questioned. Although none of the staff was sure how the fire started at this point, whether it was a mistake from the school or if it was students that caused this, they weren't letting us off the hook because we all seemed like the most likely suspects at the time. So we would get pulled out of class almost every day to be interviewed. It was a different person that worked for the fire department, I'm guessing, almost every time. And they were just asking us to give a clear picture of the situation that we saw. These interviews scared me because although I knew that me and Jerry wouldn't say anything, we weren't sure if any of the other students in the class would. The only hope we had was that since they all played the game too, they wouldn't want to get in trouble either. Because if me and Jerry went down, we were gonna make sure everyone went down with us. And since we played this game in the dark, did anyone actually see that Jerry was the one shooting the flames that day? We had no idea. About a week passes by, and for the first time, I'm starting to think that we might actually get away with this. The investigation seemed to be dying down, no one was mentioning our names specifically, and I was beginning to convince myself that we were in the clear. But right when we thought this, a new character entered the story. Anthony was this kid who wore the same black hoodie to school every day and didn't really talk much. Matter of fact, until this interaction we had that I'm about to tell you, I didn't even know what his voice sounded like. So I wasn't friends with Anthony, but I definitely wasn't enemies with him either. But I guess he thought otherwise. Because a week after this fire incident, Anthony goes up to me and Jerry during PE, and he says, hey guys, he's got this devious look on his face, like he knows something that we don't want him to know. It's the same look my siblings would always give me when they catch me doing something I'm not supposed to, and they know they have blackmail material on me now. So Jerry responds back, what's up, Anthony? Anthony looks around to make sure no one else is listening, and then he gets closer to us, like he's about to break some big secret. And then he goes, so, that whole fire in the locker room thing, that was pretty crazy, huh? My pupils immediately dilate. The way he says it, the way he's looking at us, I knew we were about to get blackmailed, but we just try to act casual. Yeah, it was wild. Good thing no one got hurt. Anthony just nods slowly with that smile on his face that made my skin crawl. Yeah, good thing no one got hurt. Must have been really scary for whoever actually started it, you know, causing all that chaos and seeing all the other kids getting investigated for something they didn't do. Jerry and I exchange a quick glance that probably looks as guilty as two kids standing next to a broken window with a baseball in their hands. Anthony was onto us like a shark who smelled blood in the water, but still, we try to play it cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's scary. Why are you saying this to us specifically, though? Anthony just shrugs and goes, oh, no reason. I just happened to be there right when the fire started, and I saw that my hand sanitizer was on the ground. It was official. Anthony saw us cause that fire, and he saw us completely run away after trying to stop it. But I still say back to him, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. He laughs, but it's not a friendly laugh. No, it's the type of laugh a villain does in the movie right before he reveals his evil plans. Come on, guys. I saw both of you cause it. You really think I'm that stupid? Me and Jerry look at each other and we both realize we're caught. There's no point in even pretending anymore. Anthony continues talking. Look, guys, I'm trying not to be a jerk here, but this whole situation has been pretty stressful for all of us, right? All the teachers and staff think that we're responsible for it just because we were in that class. But it's really not fair to everyone that didn't cause the fire. So we say to Anthony, okay, so what are you getting at here? What's your angle, man? There's no point in trying to fake it anymore. Anthony's smile gets wider, and like I said, I'd never had a conversation with him prior to this. So I didn't know him well, but man, that guy should get into acting because he would be a great supervillain character. He had a grin on his face after we asked him what his angle was, like he already had a plan. And he goes, well, I've been thinking about it, and keeping a secret this big is something
you're gonna have to pay a price for. 500 or 400, I don't remember.
That deserves payment. I think I deserve some compensation for all this stress. I just say in a high-pitched voice, compensation? Money. I want $400 from both of you by the end of next week. Seems fair enough for keeping quiet about something that could get both of you expelled. So me and Jerry look at each other again and realize, yep, we're getting blackmailed. This man Anthony is crazy, but also at the same time, I low-key respect it. Like, I respect the hustle, you know what I mean? It was just unfortunate that I was the one being hustled. But $400 to two dudes with no job? I don't have that type of money just lying around in my sock drawer. And I know Jerry doesn't. At the time, all the money I had was in V-Bucks, and I don't think Anthony was accepting that as a form of payment. So we tell him, we don't have that much. I'm hoping that'll make him reasonable and just accept $20 and a pack of gum. Anthony just shrugs again and then goes, well, you better figure out how to get it because the alternative is me walking into the principal's office and telling them exactly what I saw. Anthony had us completely cornered. There was no good solution to this problem. So me and Jerry started discussing it. How do we know you won't just take the money and tell the principal anyway? Jerry asks him, which is a pretty good question for someone that literally just lit the locker room on fire a week ago. You don't know that, but think about it this way. If I wanted to get you guys in trouble just for fun, I would have done it already. I'm not interested in ruining your lives for free. I'm interested in getting paid for keeping my mouth shut. We definitely didn't trust that Anthony would keep his word, but what choice did we really have? If we didn't pay him, we knew for sure that he would tell on us. So we had to go with the best option. Can you at least give us some more time to get the money? I told him, already thinking about how I'm gonna have to sell everything I own and probably rob a bank. You have until next Friday. Give me the cash that day, or I'm going straight to the principal's office. The next couple of days, me and Jerry were moving like businessmen. We did whatever it took to get that money. I emptied my savings account. There's $3. Sold my PlayStation games to GameStop for 14 cents each. I even started selling candy at school, trying to make money. Friday afternoon, we met Anthony where he wanted to meet and gave him all the cash we had. How much cash did we end up having? Well, I know for myself, I had about 300 that I put in there, and I didn't know how much Jerry had, but he said it was everything he could give. So we handed over to Anthony, hoping that it was enough. And after about 2 minutes of counting, he just says to us, pleasure doing business with you guys, and he walks away. So I don't know if Jerry did have enough to make it to $800, or if Anthony's just really bad at counting, but he never told on us. So shout out to you, Anthony, you're a real one. Well, kind of. I did have to sell my favorite games just to pay you, so that wasn't really cool, but I respect it. So now that Anthony didn't catch us, the only thing left to worry about was the school investigation catching us. But after about 2 weeks, the investigation finally wrapped up. The locker rooms opened again, and when we went inside, there wasn't even much damage in it. Just 2 lockers that were stained in charcoal. But did they figure out how the fire started? Yes, they told us they found out it was a mixture of hand sanitizer and heat that caused the fire. But they didn't know any of the specific details. So they just figured that someone accidentally spilled hand sanitizer on the ground, which was true, and somehow heat ignited it. Whether that was from the heater that was inside there, or maybe it was from another way, but they didn't know exactly how. And since nothing got burnt too badly, they just chalked it up as an accident because no one snitched. So me and Jerry got off without any punishment. And what did we learn from this? Absolutely nothing. Because the next month, we went back to playing that exact same game.
I'll see you guys in the next video.
Imagine you're in school and you...
That's our next video. Peace. How do I end this?